Hello, children. Look into the lines of this simple poem, Dust of Snow, from your first flight, which is composed by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was an American poet and is known for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech. Frost frequently wrote about settings from rural life in New England in the early 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. He is the only poet to receive 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. The short poem by Robert Frost throws light upon the unimaginable healing power of nature and tiny things. From a bad mood to ill health, there is nothing that can't be cured by nature. The author was experiencing one such bad day when a crow's movement near a hemlock tree dusted snow upon him. The snow instantly makes him happier. His day gets a lot better. Thus, the supremacy of nature as a whole made him realize how petty his problem was. The fact that hemlock tree is poisonous, combined with crow being the indicator of doom and fear, are used in the poem as the carriers of happiness in the life of narrator, is ironical. The poet through these objects has tried to highlight that sometimes creatures linked with negative aspects of life can be the bringer of change and happiness. Being outdoors in nature with all its unpredictability can benefit anyone, anywhere, at any time. Now we will discuss about the lines of the poetry. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. The poem is set in a scene where the poet is in a bad mood and is walking by a tree, a hemlock tree. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. As he passes by, a crow happens to throw some snow dust on him. Whether it falls on his head or shoulders is unknown, as there is no specific mention in the poem. We are left with a doubt about the bird's specific action, whether the crow was landing, shivering with cold, readjusting itself on the branch, or taking off. It happened to send some particles of snow upon the author. Here, the two agents of nature, the hemlock tree and the crow, are signifiers of sadness and gloom, just like the poet's mood in the scene. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. For reasons unknown, the author was having a terrible day, but the falling of the snow on his head lifted his mood instantly. He had already spent his day in a bad mood, but the rest of it was saved by the crow and the hemlock tree. Generally, hemlock tree and crow are used for negative references, but the poet used them beautifully to portray that inauspicious things can bring joy and happiness too. One must not take things for granted and should be open and accept whichever way the nature chooses to bless us. Now, let us discuss about the literary devices which have been used by the poet in the poem. The rhyme scheme of the poem is AB, 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 AB. Let us consider the below lines. Has given my heart and saved some part. In these lines, the literary device used by the poet is alliteration, means same letter or same sound, that is heart and part. And in the first stanza, the poetic license used is inversion, that is, when the structure of the sentence is changed by the poet to create rhyme, that is, crow and snow. And look at the line, shook down on me. The poetic device used in this line is assonance, that is, O sound is prominent. And in the last, the poetic device used wholly is enjambment, that is, when the same sentence continues to the next line without the use of any punctuation marks. So this is all about the poetry. I hope you have understood it very well. Have a good time.